Makoto Shinkai hit the jackpot with Your Name. Could he follow it up with another smash hit in Weathering with You? Let's talk about it. Weathering with You is directed by Makoto Shinkai, and it's about a high school boy named Hodaka who ran away to Tokyo to be free. While there, he meets a girl named Hina who can manipulate the weather and bring out the sun in a time where all it does is rain. This was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and the reason it was one of my most anticipated movies was because of Makoto Shinkai. He has an impressive catalog of anime films. Films like 5 centimeters per second, The Children Who Chase Lost Voices, and the critically acclaimed and worldwide loved Your Name. Your Name was so great and so widely loved that there were some people wondering, could he replicate that success? Could Weathering with You be as good or even better than Your Name? But the truth is, Weathering with You didn't have to be better than Your Name. It just had to be a good follow-up to it. And honestly, it was very good. Weathering with You is incredible. As usual with Makoto Shinkai, the animation was visually amazing. During the sunniest and brightest times of this movie, and during the darkest and rainiest, I couldn't get over just how beautiful everything looked in every single scene. Even though the animation was amazingly beautiful in every single scene, there were still some scenes where it especially stood out to me. There was a scene where Hodaka is on the ground struggling and the raindrops are hitting his face, and the whole time I couldn't just help was like, wow, that looks so absolutely stunning. And there's a scene where Hina is standing on top of a large building with a helipad and the sun's just glistening down on them. In the way the animation is just set up in those scenes especially, it just looks so beautiful. And that's not to take away from the rest of the film, because the animation, like I said, looks beautiful in every single part. You can tell this animation team put in extremely hard work, and they deserve so much credit for bringing this film from the storyboards to the big screen. I also liked how real these places were. It's not like he just animated some fake places. This was Tokyo. And I don't mean like he'd made Tokyo with a bunch of fake things. No, this was Tokyo down to the streets, down to the way the buildings looked, down to the actual business names. So not only was the animation super beautiful, it was also realistic. This movie is actually really funny too. Hina has a younger brother named Nagi who is hilarious throughout the entire movie, especially in the scenes where him and Hodaka interact. The humor rolls and works so well in this film that it even fits during the more emotional times. It never feels forced. And all the characters in this movie feel real. Even with the magical vibe, you feel for these characters. You kind of feel the emotions that they're feeling. It doesn't feel like you're watching an animated movie. It feels like you're watching real people interact. One of the things that Makoto Shinkai does really well in his films is he has a good job of taking the beautiful story that he develops with all the characters and intertwining it really well. Each character might have their own things going on, but it all helps the main story, and when it's intertwining, you're like, this makes perfect sense. Even if you're not understanding it at the beginning, during the second and third acts, you're like, this works, and this is beautiful. This is great. That kind of beautiful storytelling with the intertwining stories worked extremely well in Your Name. And it worked really good in Weathering with You also. But unlike Your Name, where the intertwining story worked perfect, Weathering with You does have a few times where when it's intertwining, something does kind of fall and break off. The first 10 minutes of Weathering with You felt a little off. It wasn't bad, and it made total sense by the end. But if he could have done something to shore it up and make it a little bit more smooth, bring audiences into the movie quicker, I think it would have helped the movie overall. There were a small number of times in the second half of the movie where the emotions didn't feel as real as they did in the first half. It kind of felt slightly more forced. And I don't mean that as it was bad. It just didn't roll as easy as, say, the first half of the movie did. And that's really all I have for the negatives. The fact that my only negatives could be smoothing out the first 10 minutes of the movie, or maybe not forcing the emotions in one or two scenes in the second half, the fact that that's the only negatives, I cannot complain at all. I mean, Weathering with You is an incredible movie, and it is a very worthy follow-up to Your Name. I really loved this movie, and I cannot wait to see it again. I hope I get the chance to see it again very soon. I loved it. So my final score for Weathering with You, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Again, everyone, I really liked it. I loved it. It's incredible. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I really hope you guys go out and get the chance to see it. If you have seen it, let me know in the comments below, what did you think about it? If you haven't seen it and you're not going to see it, tell me in the comments below why you're not going to see it. And Thank you guys, as always, for watching this review. While you're here, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and have a great morning, day, or night, wherever in the world you are at whatever time you're watching this. Bye-bye.